Hey everyone. Sure my sound's working. I see my little metering, but it is Saturday evening in nice and warm South Louisiana. Uh, Christine and I spent the afternoon in the quail barn sorting birds from grow out cages to breeder cages and brooder to grow out cages. So it's been quite an interesting day. It's definitely hot. Heat index is well over 100. So, um, like most of the country, we are extremely hot, which is not really new to us. I know a bunch of you Northerners um, have some heat issues, and some of y'all actually had some cool down issues. I was talking to Heather earlier, and which they were well up there in the triple digits um, earlier this week, and now they are a lot cooler. So that's a relief. I really don't care for like the temperature changes like that with the birds because it's you know they'll go into summer mode if the temperature is kind of all over the place, and I really don't you know they always go in the mode or stop laying at the most inconvenient times, and I'm kind of like semi moat right now with the heat, but they are seem like they not everyone, not all of the cages, but they it's faring well. It was a little warm in the barn, but we're also working up and down, and my cages are really tall, so step ladders and up and down, and of course we're back and forth, top layer, bottom layer. So it's been quite a day dealing with that, which I think Christina wants to move some chickens after this. So we'll move chickens, sort through her silkies. Um, she lost her, which is our oldest chicken, and actually made the chicken made the move with us when we moved onto this property. Chanel, she was a silky of some sorts. But she would she hatched out anything. I'm pretty sure if you put a rock on there, she would sit on it till she hatched out, and she she left this world and is now eating all the treats somewhere else. So um, we had actually, this kind of goes against everything that I do. She's in the freezer, and we're contemplating getting her stuffed, but she was in the middle of being broody. So she's not the prettiest. She's not in all her full glory right now. So we'll see. I mean, she was always broody, so I guess it's nothing new if we do get her stuffed like that. But we'll see. I'm not against it because she was really special to Christina, and probably is the animal that has been photographed the most on our homestead. This one particular chicken. So um, I'm not against it, even though I always say I don't like chickens. She was such a super chill chicken. She's probably the only broody hen that we've ever had that you can actually pick up while she's broody without getting picked at. So she was just super chill, part of the family. She lived out a hurricane with us while hatching and raising babies. So she's she was really special to us. Mm, You know, let me jump into the comments because before I go off on a side quest, Homestead Matter says, "Happy Saturday, folks. Hope everyone is having a great day. Hey, Katie, glad you stopped in." Carolina Kind Family Homestead says, "Cheers, y'all. Hey, I hope you're doing well. So you got your package." This my friend Heather says, "Happy Saturday." Then Mr. Swanson, has he taken attendance yet? I was actually taking attendance while I was waiting to go live, and I noticed that you weren't first, but you weren't last. So you do get a pass today. I mean, just today, Steve. Don't go too far with it. I can't wait till the end of August to hang out with you, Steve. Um, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun. Aside from the event, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of side quest fun. Homestead Matter says he's figuring out the baskets count. Yeah, um, I was trying to count, but counting numbers, I could count to 10. But, that's the highest I can go. Now I got to start back at 0. Shane Seal says, "Good evening from Seal's Family Farm." Hello, Shane and Hope. Lorenzo Hill says, "Hey man, hey, how you doing, Lorenzo? Hope the heat is not too rough on you right now." Alexandra here says, "Hello, hello, hello, Alexandra. Thanks for stopping in." My friend Ben, he's present. I'm gonna mark you down as present today. Heather says it sucks between the birds and my rabbits. It wasn't a good week. Yeah, that's unusually warm for you guys up there. I'm glad you got some cooling off. Rabbits just don't seem to take the heat well. Um, our rabbits are doing fine, but they are pretty much shaded all day, and they get a good breeze. I mean, we only have a few rabbits left that we're looking to get rid of, and I was gonna butcher them today, but I was kind of waiting for Lane to get his cast off, where he could, be released full back into the wild. But looks like he's gonna stay there until I think August 11th. He has to keep it. We go back, so hopefully he can get it off and be back to full Lane. Christina caught him doing push-ups the other day, so something he's not supposed to do. But if anyone knows Lane, knows that he will borderline do what he's not supposed to do. Nothing bad. He is, uh, you know, the definition of a little boy. Steve said, "If I was a bird, I'd be dropping feathers too." Steve, I don't have any feathers. I lost all of mine. Oh look, Heather, that's the cup on my website. Heather was looking at my website. She didn't realize that I had hoodies added on and had the cups off. I don't know what happened with the integration with Printful, but the cups were removed, and Christina saw that they weren't there, so I added them back. Which I had to tweak a few things because it went by the shipping went by the weight, and it had it like eggs, and eggs that weighed as much would, I think it was like $18 of shipping or something like that. So like if anybody would have ordered it, it would have been too much on the shipping. Greg says, "Hi, family Gidros." Hey, Greg. I didn't get a chance to work on your weed eater today, but I'll work on it tomorrow. I was hoping for some rain so I could actually get out of the rain and do a few projects I need to do, but we'll work on it. Katie says, "Oh, so sorry for the Rainbow Bridge crossing. We knew it was a matter of time. It's just, you don't want to lose anything. I mean, like when we get like an injured quail or any other chicken, it's like we feed our animals with it or ourselves, quail. When the quail do quail things and off themselves, we, you know, feed our animals with them. It's like no big deal. But this chicken right here was like, it wasn't. We're not gonna feed our animals with her, which she's she's a silky, so she really doesn't have enough meat on her to feed much. I hear her. We have our Great Danes outside right now, so I hear them right behind me. They don't fight. They just love to wrestle. They're enjoying the sun going down and it being cooler. Heather says, "I'm so sorry for your loss. Have you thought about cremation? You can make her a necklace with the ashes for her." I don't know. We'll see. You never know what we're gonna do. And you could add some of her fellas to it as well for Christina. Might try that. We'll look at explore options. We really haven't had much time since it happened. We were had to go out of town to bring Lane to the doctor, which is like almost 2 hours away. Which thankfully, because we've been going like every 2 weeks, and it's like it takes up an entire day. So at least now we don't have to go for like I think it's 5 weeks or something. So we'll see. The doctor definitely said he could tell he's rough because they had to give him a new brace because he pretty much destroyed the one he had. Um, so at least at least he recognized that. But everything's healing properly. They just want to make sure the bone solidifies more, especially with him because he's so active. He'll damage himself again very easily because the bone's not it's healing properly. It's just not at the stage that he wants it at. So just time is basically what he said. Family Connections Homestead says, "Hey, hello, Kelly. What's your weather like over there, Kelly?" I mean, I know we go through it back and forth in the winter time when Kelly's like, "Oh, it's only 32 degrees today," and I'm like, "Only 32," but that's Kelly. Kelly says, "I'm always a present." Steve says, "Kelly, present or gag gift?" Love you. Yeah. Hey, Will. Friend Brad Landry says Lane is his own man. Yeah, he's definitely something. He's oh, and anyone who's seen Lane with the long flowing mullet, he cut his mullet off today. He has a normal person haircut. Um, I think he was just trying to show me up with the hair because I mean I'm here and Lane had beautiful long hair. I mean, if we had milk delivered, I would be questioning the milkman, but we don't get milk delivered here, so he just long hair and he loved the mullet and he just I think finally I think the heat probably convinced him, but it's kind of funny. We went to eat dinner last night for my oldest son's birthday and his girlfriend's their birthdays are like a couple days apart. So we finally had schedules met up where we could all eat together. And we walked into the restaurant and lady who cuts Lane's hair was sitting down eating. So I convinced him to cutting his hair this morning. She's not open on Saturdays, but I guess Lane's very convincing. He got a haircut, so he must have done something. Yeah, she opened special for Lane. Kelly says, haha, Steve, probably both, but a gift is a gift and beggars can't be choosers. That's right. I mean, look, you take what you get, Steve. You can't be too picky. Yeah, the cup's pretty cool. It's big. Verna would like the cup because I don't think it's as big as the one that I had sent her. Carolina Con Family Homestead says wife loves day rings. Yep, Christina hand makes every single one of them, and she makes a lot. And it seems like she's never has enough. So I guess that's a good thing because we send out earrings in every order. So I guess that's a good thing. Oh, she said she started shipping out the new necklaces. So that's a new thing she made. I mean, everything's handcrafted, so it's kind of working on a few other things we kind of talked about. I mean, I guess if we ever hit like a stall phase where we could regroup, because I mean, literally sometimes midweek she's like, "Oh, I have to make earrings." So she's literally making earrings while I'm in the barn packing orders, and so we want to do a few more handcrafted items. I think it adds like a special personal touch to it, you know, because it's something handmade. Um, Keeping along with the quail theme, you know, because quail is kind of like our biggest thing here. It's not our only thing, but it's our biggest thing. We do the chickens as well, and pigs and rabbits and whatnot. The homesteading stuff, but quail is probably our. We have the most of the quail, aside from like flies and mosquitoes, but quail. That's good. Carolina Con family says they set the eggs yesterday. That's awesome. Hella says she meant to add one to the hoodie order, but forgot. I need to actually order more for me. That way I could send out with some orders. But um, I had a glitch between my website and Printful, which my website's kind of been giving me a few issues here and there. So like it wasn't integrated, so I was having to go in from my website, take the order, and manually input it in the Printful, and I was like super annoyed, and I was gonna like cancel the whole thing. So, but I got it worked out. Peppermint Acres says, "Good evening, family. Good evening, Dwight and Sandy." Um, so let's see if I get the glare out. It's Christina's new earring necklace she made. I think she had talked about making earrings too. We have some of them going out on orders as well. Just you know, try to send not send earrings to um, the guys who order, but sometimes it is what it is, and you get what you get. You know, as Kelly said, beggars can't be choosers. So, Steve, you might get earrings. Greg says, "Yeah, it was thunder and lightning a few minutes ago. I thought we were going to get some rain, but no rain. Yeah, when I was working the barn, if I actually felt the temperature difference um, when the clouds and the overcast came, I was like, man, I hope we get some rain to just cool things off, and we didn't get no rain. I was hot and sweating." Brianna's here. She says, late hello. Well, I didn't like close the attendance book yet, so you were good. See, here comes Kelly. In Utah, it's only 91 and low humidity, so it's not as bad as everyone else is getting right now. See, it's like only. But like Kelly's the same person that's going to tell me it's only 30 degrees, but the low humidity. But there it's only 91. That is just like from your low to your high. It's just insane. Alexandra says we hit the road in 11 hours. I know where you're going. Make sure you're a good passenger for your dad, and um, I mean it'll be a fun trip. We talked about that last night. It'll be a fun trip, nice little road trip. That's always fun though. Some of the adventures we went on over the years. I mean, drove hours and hours for goats and dogs and chickens and quail and rabbits, and I mean, end of the day, it's always fun. It's always a fun trip. I'll actually be going on the road next week. I should be back for the live stream next Saturday because Friday is 4th of July. But I'm not certain I'm going, but probably. We'll see. Andy Rabbits here. It says hello. Andy, we need to modify a name and do Andy Rabbit Quail. Um, it has a good ring to it. Or Quail Andy Rabbit, or Rabbit Andy Quail. It's Let's change it up, Andy. Carolina Con Family Homestead says, "Hey Andy, you gotta watch the milkman." Big Joe's Outdoors says, "I'm late. Had to clean some gar." Hi everyone. Hey Joe. Yeah, Joe's always fishing. Always fishing. Heather says, "Oh, new necklace I want to see." Ben says, "I was about to say the wife loved the necklace in the last order." Yeah, that's true. You had one that went out with the new necklaces. Brandon says, "I want a new necklace. The one I have now hangs on my fridge." Well, I actually have a package going out to you this week, so probably Monday. There she is. There's Verna. Um, Verna, that's the new cup. I was talking about you in the cup earlier. I don't know if it's the same size as the one I sent you before. I mean, it's large, so I'm not sure. Um, but Verna, don't get mad. It's tea in here, not coffee. Verna drinks coffee. Verna's a heavy coffee drinker. I drink tea on the live streams from Grafted Branch Homestead. Sells tea on their websites, and I just absolutely love the tea. Um, I don't even know which one this is that Christina has, but they all really good. So it doesn't even matter. I don't even ask for a specific one. I think the anxiety is my favorite. This is not it, but I enjoy all of them. So check them out. Grafted Branch Homestead. Verna saying hi to everyone. Brad says if there was money in farming mosquitoes, would all be rich down here. Well, technically, Brad, there's a whole department in the state that makes money on farming mosquitoes, but that's a whole nother story. I sell them what they feed their mosquitoes. So calm down, Brandon. You will get one. Ben's asking those are clay that she has to bake, correct? I think so. Uh, I Ben, be honest with you, I really don't know all what goes on around here. I just know what involves me directly and what my chore list looks like. So I see Christina commented, yes, Ben. Okay. Steve says some of us would look nice with earrings. You got it, Steve. You got it. I'll custom make you some earrings. I could do like some quail claw earrings for you, Steve. That way you kind of look tough, you know? It's not just feathers. I'll make you a good, I won't even seal it, so it's all natural. Ben says that takes a lot of work. Good job, Christina. She just all the box themes and all the stuff that goes in our boxes, she does all of it. Like she'll ask me what I think every now and then, but like she just I don't have that in me. Like literally, if it wasn't for Christina, when you ordered eggs from me, you would get eggs, shipping foam in the boxes, and that's it. Like nothing else. But she makes them. She does the stickers, and I'd probably say it takes about as much time for her to put all her stuff in the box and decorate the outside of the boxes as it takes me to fill up the boxes with eggs and foam. So, and that takes a while. So, she does a great job with it, and she has a lot of patience. Steve said he had to put a snowplow on the truck so I could drive through the humidity. Yeah, it is. I swam. I swam in the humidity earlier. Steve says this with as many names as Andy Rabbit has, and I'm sure she can handle another one. We're just gonna modify the one that she uses on here on YouTube. Brandon says I smell eggs. Yeah. Verna says I'm still waiting on my new cup. This is what it's gonna look like. Verna drinks both tea and coffee. But Verna, let's be honest, you drink more coffee than tea. Um, I kind of backed off of it. I used to drink coffee like that all the time. Um, so I just started. I have enough sleeping issues that I started drinking tea in the evenings. Um, Coffee in the morning, tea in the evenings. But we drank a lot of coffee at work. But usually when it's hot, I really don't fool around with coffee. But I guess it's like some people with alcohol. Like if I'm around coffee drinkers, I'm drinking coffee. But I won't drink coffee alone. Hella says she's a tea drinker. She doesn't like coffee. When I drink coffee, I don't add any sugar or cream or anything. I just drink coffee. Brad says that I know about farming mosquitoes. You ain't dragging me into that though. Um, it's some fun. It's some fun. And he says I got to run and get some rabbit feed before they close. And it's like 6:30. Well, take your vehicle because it's a little hot to be running outside right now. Steve says Christina's a superwoman with all she has to do: earrings, soaps, the house, feed you, the garden, take care of the quail and Lane, and then you on top of all of that. I don't know how she does it. She manages though. She does a great job. And it says I always have iced tea available in the fridge. You see, I like tea, but I mean, if I'm drinking iced tea, I want it unsweet. Just weird like that. Um, Iced tea is good too in the summertime. Brad says me and Aaron like to drink coffee and fuss speeders in my street. That Brad and I have reached adulthood because that's literally what we do. We'll drink coffee and yell at everyone to slow down passing in his neighborhood. I think I think we are officially old men now. Oh, and look at my new hat. My friend Larry Lyon with Double L Quail Farm sent me a few of these, and like it's my favorite color hat, and you got the logo. Um, Comfortable. This is probably like the best model hat that they have. It's the Richardson 112, which most of my hats are Richardson 112s. That's just my favorite hat out of everything. It's it's just a good, comfortable hat for my big watermelon head I have on top of my shoulders. Um, I like it. It's a light hat, cool in the back. Rhonda says that's because she's the power behind your homestead. She absolutely is. She is everything around here. I would say that I'm just here for to move heavy things, but I mean, when she gets tired of waiting for me to move the heavy things, she moves it herself. So I really know. I'm just a pretty face around here, I guess. Lorenzo says the hat is fire. I agree. I love it. I think I would. I think I'm gonna get some made and I have something else to offer because I enjoy hats. I collect hats. I have a closet full of hats. Um, wear them all the time because I got a bald head. So Dwight says, unsweet, gonna pull your man card. I don't like sugar, Dwight. Um, I don't care for sugar at all. Brianna says, any fun stories from this week? Um, None that I could say on YouTube, but it's been an interesting week. I'm hoping next week I have some fun stuff, but nothing really, nothing fun. Had enough tragedies around here this week that covered up anything fun that could have possibly happened. Um, well, one fun thing I have coming up is my whole YouTube area is going to change. Next live stream, I'll be in a different area in the house. I'm getting evicted from this one location, so I'll I'll have I'll have a little bit more privacy because I'm actually here at the computer quite often. We do YouTube, YouTube Live once a week, but I'm here quite often. Video calling, different meetings. Oh, Christina's bringing. We do have something exciting from this week.
Go crazy.
Cool. So that is Lane's bearded dragon. He didn't name him yet, but that is our exciting thing for this week. One fun thing. Yeah. That's our fun thing for this week. Brenda says, Aaron, you're the mouthpiece and she's the boss in Homestead. Absolutely, I agree. I'll look into that, Heather. Verna, he has to keep the brace on. We go back August 11th. That he should get it off then. Should. Jacob says, sounds like you need to go fishing. I just want somebody to bring me fish. I don't even really want to go do the actual fishing. I think the time I would spend fishing, I could be sorting quail. That's kind of what led me away from fishing is just the amount of time and dedication, but I still enjoy eating fish. Brandon says, oh, wow, new setup. I'm looking forward to see it. Yeah. It's gonna. I got a few things I need to do to move my locations, so I'll probably work on it tomorrow when in the hottest part of the day because it's just the middle of the day is just too hot. I don't really want to be outside if I don't have to. I worked hard today to not have to be outside all day tomorrow. Big Joe says, been hot, muddy, hard to have too much fun. I agree. Alan's asking how many varieties of quail do you raise? Caternix, a lot. I also have Snowflake Bob White and Tennessee Reds, but a lot. I don't even know the actual number. Because Christina convinced me today to keep some sparklies, so I'll have sparkly Pharaoh, ginger sparkly, a few different other ones that I'm adding. So I don't know. I have to look at my board. I have a board with all my different colors. Like my website's probably just a small percentage of what we actually have. It's kind of like Pokemon for me. I got to collect them all. I will be splitting off on my celadons and my pansies instead of collections. Be specific, like my root pansies, pansy fees, American pansy, German pansies, and then my celadons. I got Pharaoh, Fab Fee, Egyptian, Italian, Scarlet Range, Tibetan, Rosetta, Graufi, whites, um, blue roux, some roux sparkly. Yeah, I'm not sure. You see, this is why I'm a note taker, because I don't remember. I know I'm like trying to visualize my board, and I can't right now. It's a lot. It's a whole bunch. Yeah. One of my next plans is to get internet out there, and then potentially, if I can get them quiet enough, do a live stream from out there. That might be like a fall thing when it cools off, because I don't want to be sitting on camera sweating for an hour or two. So it might be a fall thing. Brandon says, "Oh, he's just a little dude. That's cool." Yeah, he's a baby. Went to the pet store, bought him at the pet store, and now I have a list of stuff I have to bring back in 2 weeks to sell to them. Quail, like some frozen quail feeders and quail eggs and live quail and stuff like that, so they could feed to their reptiles and whatnot over there. I spent money there, and probably in 2 weeks I'm gonna make all my money back, and it'd be a consistent thing. So that kind of, I'm always a salesman, and the opportunity was there. So it's a family-owned pet store. It's not like a chain pet store. It's a family-owned pet store, and their biggest thing is fish. And I've always dealt with them because we've always had fish, and it's like the best place to get fish. It's a drive to get there, about an hour and 15 minutes, but that was like the place to get fish. And I landed a customer, so that's pretty good. I mean, I call that a win. Steve says, countdown the Gulf Coast homestead is 63 days. Yes, I was actually looking earlier. I thought it was 62, but I don't know. I don't always add up correctly. Jacob says, I'll bring some down with me. That is great. Hilla says, oh my gosh, you got him one so adorable. Yeah, they actually had an adult, and thought about getting an adult, but don't know how he was treated in his life, and I don't want Lane to be scared of it. So we got him a baby, and he's, Lane is a good, smart kid, so he likes to play with him. He takes him out. When he feels him getting a little cooler, he brings him, puts him back in, lets him get warmed up, then takes him out again. So he's a rule follower when it comes to that. And so Swanson says, do you get Wi-Fi in the doghouse for your new setup? Yeah, I have to run it myself. So yeah, that's probably what I do tomorrow. Helen says, you have Snowflake? Yeah. Yeah. I got quite a few, like Brad and Greg, which they were here. They are like my support when I have a big project. Those are my two people that are here helping me. So they see all the quail that I have, and then of course they don't go on my website. Well, I think Brad did one time because he was decided to go make a purchase on my website. But what's on the website and what's actually here is substantially different. There is my friend Larry Lyon, Double L Quail Farm. Hey, buddy, I made it. Thanks for stopping in, Larry. Heather says, okay, I need snowflakes and blues. Yeah, I'm actually sorted some blues today. Yeah, you know, so a lot of people are like, why don't you have everything listed on the website? Because this is still a hobby for me. This is a passion, and I enjoy my quilt first. That is that's the thing. Like these are my friends. These are my pets. I enjoy just sitting there watching the quail. Um, Brad comes over and drinks coffee, and we'll sit in the quail barn and just watch the quail, and it's enjoyable. It's fun for me, and I do sell hatching eggs. I do sell live birds, but it's still a passion and it's a hobby, and it's like I sorted some live birds for some orders going out on Monday. I like to pair them all up in the same cage a couple of days, or going out Tuesday, a couple of days before I ship them out, just to make sure that there's no domestic disputes or anything like that. So I'll put them all together, and I mean, basically, when I'm sorting quail like that, I'm gonna sort quail that I would want to keep. So like, I'm not gonna ship out a bird that I wouldn't want to personally keep for myself. So at the end of the day, it makes the customer happy, and that's the end goal, is to share the passion with the quail, and I want everyone to have quail because I love quail, and if ever decided to not sell quail anymore, I'm still gonna have quail because I love quail. I always did. I did before we started selling quail. I'm gonna keep quail long after. Lorenzo says my closest feed store closed. Got to travel further. When I start back up, sucks. You had it. My feed store is like 3 miles from me. I think it's something like that. 3 miles. It's not far at all. Like it's a hop, skip, and a jump. Like turn left and turn left again, and you were there. Larry says I'm trying to hook up on my computer. It's a lot better than this crazy phone. Yeah, I don't care for YouTube on the phone. I don't know. It glitches. It was freezing up. I was on Verna's live stream this morning, which everyone she has Vay's Place has a YouTube live stream on Saturday mornings. It is 9 a.m. Central time, and I was on there this morning, and my phone kept on glitching. It was really annoying because Verna shares a lot of knowledge on it, so I'll try to listen, and it's funny because she shares a lot of knowledge on it, but then you get like me and Steve in there in the chat room with a bunch of nonsense, and you know that's just me and Steve. Heather says you guys need to visit New Hampshire. It's beautiful here. I want to go to New Hampshire in the fall. Yeah, that would be a good trip, a good fall trip up there because they actually have leaves that change colors. Mine don't change colors. They're there and then they just fall off, and it's winter time. Joe says I like sitting out in the yard after the rain and just listen to the quail crow. And yep, that's it's just fun. It's relaxing. Mm-hmm. It's in my truck, I believe. My truck's unlocked. Yeah. Jacob says, I think one of the coolest things I've learned about the birds is each bird has its own personality. Not all are great, and some roosters love to scream in your face for fun. Yeah. So, like, in the barn, it's never really quiet, but like it seems like there's a one jerk that gets started up, and then they just get a bunch of other jerks started up, and they just crowing back and forth at each other. And I don't know if this actually quail are dumb, so I doubt if they are smart enough to communicate back and forth across the barn. I think they're just yelling at each other, and no one understands anything. Larry is asking if a chick gets attacked by other quail and his beak is severely damaged, will it grow back? Possibly. Um, I never really fooled around with injuries, like especially brooder injuries. I don't have much time invested in a bird, so like if I get anything like that, I usually just I put them down early because I mean it's not like it wouldn't pass anything on genetically because it's a environmental injury, but you know if it's got a beak issue, it likely won't thrive 100%. Verna says, Jacob, my favorite hobby with the quail was sitting in the bathroom listening to the roos just calling out. Yeah, they are they are something. Verna says it's all fun, Aaron. Yeah, I agree. Um, it's it's you know me and Steve. Verna says Larry beaks do not grow back. Sorry, depending the severity of it and the location of it, but um, like their top beak grows, but it's I just in a brooder, Larry. I wouldn't waste my time with it. Homestead Matter says Steve purchasing a cherry pitter and some grain alcohol for some drunken cherries tomorrow. Oh yeah, that sounds really good. Yeah, that sounds really good right now. Big Joe says I missed the Bob Whites. I had their comeback calls in the morning. It's so cool. I enjoy the sounds. Steve says it will be a great for the fourth. Verna says Joe, some of my favorite calls were come back here, pick me. Yeah. Hella says the fall is my favorite here. Yeah. We actually talked about making a trip up there because we do like to travel somewhat, but we're not like destination travelers. We're like, what can we see? We like to sightsee and we like to see more stuff that's out there away from big cities and whatnot. Like I'm not a Disney World kind of person, or um, I really don't like to follow a schedule. So when it's a vacation for us, like I just want to just like chill and just stop time and just enjoy life. Jacob says, I have one that crows every time I get near the Winola cage and gets everyone fired up, so I feed that cage last now. Yeah, so it's kind of funny. I was actually looking at notes on a few studies of things you could train quail to do, and it's more just habit, and it's kind of funny on the feeding. Uh, he says the carrot in the beak will regrow if you want to go that route. Yeah, I just I wouldn't advise it. Larry, is it a bob white? It has to be a bob white with to start ripping beaks off. Erna says, Aaron, you're more of a scenic route person. I am. Like, I don't need a city. It's nonsense. I like to stop at a Cracker Barrel on the road, but that's about it. Food Forest Permaculture says, "Greeting Earthlings. Greetings. Thanks for stopping in. And hope you're doing well, Howie." Homestead Matter says, "Has anyone ever made a purple dead nettle salve? Did our first this afternoon. It feels great." I think Christina did. I'm not sure, and she's not here, so I don't. I don't make any of that stuff. I know she does a lot with the plantain, beeswax, and some different other herbs and stuff. So I'm pretty sure she made some before. Like salves and all. She'll just rub it on me and tell me what you think, but you know, not really. I'm not a plant guy, so I don't know all this witchcraft stuff. But what is everyone doing for the heat? I know. So I know, like some of the north, you're in like a big heat wave. So is anyone doing anything special for their animals in the heat? I know for us, we have fans in the quail barn, but I think the fans are more for us. I actually have fans that blow in just the walkways in between the cages. I don't have any fans on cages, and I don't do any like water bottle, frozen water bottles, anything like that on my animals. But not judging if you do. I know, especially for rabbits, a lot of people put like frozen water bottles, and I'm sure that's helpful for them, because I can tell you, if somebody would have threw a frozen water bottle on the ground earlier when I was working the quail barn, I would have laid on it, or at least sat on it for a minute, put it in my shirt, something, you know. My quail, they'll pant a little bit, and it's usually, like for me, it's about between 2 and 4 in the afternoon that they really get hot. And it's you know, I'm like, hanging there, fellas. You know, once we make it through August, then we'll be all right. So we got, 2 months left, and we'll be cooling down. It won't be cold, but here we'll be cooling down where it won't be triple digits. Usually by the end of August, we're cooling down a little bit. But I'm shaded, and I have fresh air intakes and stuff like that, and they're fine. The only thing we do differently is egg collection is more frequent, so the eggs are not sitting out there, because if it's heat index is like 104, 105, like it's been, it's about 92 degrees in the quail barn. So we kind of do like, well, in winter time, extreme winter and extreme summer, we just collect eggs more often. That's how we combat that. Instead, Matter says we're trying plantain and yarrow next. Yeah. Jacob says fans, lots of fans for my birds. Yeah. Um, Fans definitely help. And they actually, quail adjust to it pretty well. And I wouldn't take like a quail that I kept inside and bring it directly outside into like that big of a temperature change. But like, I mean, so just this year, just since like January 20 something, we had snow. So they went from 0 to 104 in 5 months. But it was a progression of it, and they're fine. They have fresh, cool water. My water stays cool, so they really don't get that hot. I don't put as many quail in my cages in each cage during the summertime, just because they put off so much heat. Just something I do. In the wintertime, I just throw the extra breeder state back in. Not that actual one, because in the wintertime I'm replacing birds, so like, I'll put it in, and then like when it gets to this time of the year, I'll pull the breeder set out. Verna says Katie dries some of the yarrow for emergencies. Katie says big tarp over the carport that adds some extra shade to an amazing 5 to 10 degree difference. Fan on just one side for airflow. Yeah, I mean, if you get the sun off of them, it's a huge difference. And I mean, like 95 in the sun and the shade is two totally different temperatures. I mean, it truly is, especially like with a little breeze. It's two totally different temperatures. See, Steve's rough and tough. Steve says my birds only get good wishes. That's right, Steve. Ira says no, it was like a turnings, but a bob white did the damage. Yeah, I figured a bob white would be in there somewhere because bob whites tend to go for the beak and the face when they attack, and they actually have more of a hook on their beak than Caturnix. Caturnix kind of they pick at each other, but it's more like in the back of the head, the back, and like in the brooder situation, they'll pick at feet and whatnot. But bob whites go for the face, and they're dangerous because they have a falcon-like beak. Their upper beak has more of a hook to it, and they are closer to the wild bird, the wild version of themselves than Caturnix. Caturnix is a long time removed from actually being a wild bird. They've been domesticated for much, much longer. So bob whites tend to have that more of that wild version. Jacob says I'm ordering a larger fan for the exhaust for my building. My building got up to 92 last week when it was over 100. Yeah. Good part of just blow air in and let air vent out, free flow out. And if you could get that upper air, so the way the heat works, it's like you'll have a thermal layer that start coming down. So if you could disturb that thermal layer on the upper portion, and it'll cool things down. Like even if you have so if you have one fan blowing in because you're in a building, one fan blowing in, and you can have forced air out, your fan's gonna get clogged up with dander. Then if you take like a round fan on the ground and just put it blowing up to disturb that thermal layer, and that heat, you pump that heat out and you'll be great. Vern is asking, how bad was the damage, Larry? Joe says I make plantain salves. I'm allergic to wasp and yellow deer fly. That stuff saves me a lot of pain and swelling. Yeah. Christina makes the plantain salve, and when I get stung by bees, it's a world of difference. I actually tried because I got stung on separate arms. I put one with plantain salve and one without, and the plantain salve, like the next day, there was none of the itching. I didn't have the pain. The one without was just, it itched. Like I actually scratched the skin because I was scratching it so much. Homestead Matter says on the bright side with the heat, chicks get off a heat place at 1.5 weeks. So like in my big brooders, Christina just brought a huge load of silkies out, and I use heat lamps for them, and I have Inkbird controllers. And she said when she plugged it in, the light came on for like 2 minutes and turned off, and it didn't turn back on because it's just that hot. And it says plantain salve is also good for mosquito bites, bee stings, poison ivy after you wash the affected area. Yep. Yep. I enjoy. We use it for everything. We get a few mosquito bites down here. Larry says, so the homesteading convention might not be so hot. We'll make my anniversary more nice. Yeah, usually we're cooling off by then. I mean, it's still warm, but it's not the hottest part of the year. It's you're on the downhill side of it, so it's not too bad. Then with the heat, that you guys are having up there, Larry. I mean, it kind of be, you know, you'll be leaving the heat to come to the heat, so it won't be as bad. Browner says another reason to keep your turnips and bob whites separated. I agree. Like bob whites are just, they could do more damage. Birds are gonna be birds, and not every injury like that is aggression necessarily. It's just what else you want them to do. They're just there, and if you sit down and you actually watch your birds, like sometimes just a quail just turns his head and looks at another quail and just pecks him. Like it's not aggression. They're not fighting. It's just what else is there to do? You know, it's nothing else to do. It's not always like aggression. Jacob says, I finally got to sort all of my birds a couple of days ago because I didn't want to stress them during the heat. There are some beautiful birds in that mix from you. You actually have some of those that are not listed on the website. So, like in my fun mix varieties, I always send out some stuff. And it's not like it's like not all of them are special. Again, my color projects, I don't send out. But like on my fun mix varieties on my website, I'll send out eggs that are not for sale on my website because like Heather has a subscription and she wanted some, what was it, Heather? Was it Calico and Calico Fee? So I sent her for a subscription, I sent her Calico and Calico Fee. So which technically, if you look at my website, I don't have Calico anywhere on there, but I have Calico and Calico Fee. I enjoy the birds and I enjoy to look at them and I enjoy doing projects with them. And I think somewhere around 150. I think it's like 120 to maybe 150 color variations of the turnips that I have. Something like that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I have to look on my list, but it's a lot. One day the goal is to have them all for sale, but right now it's just different things I'm working on. I've been having Egyptian fees for 3 years and they're still not on my website. One day soon. Bob whites are more territorial than turnips. They are, especially like in adults. When it's not breeding season, it's not so bad. But during breeding season, they are terrors. They'll eat each other up. Larry says I had to dispatch because it couldn't eat, and they were just like 4 days old. And I was working on my new brooder. Luckily for me, it's just one chick. Yeah, sometimes it's what you got to do. Runner says he did the best thing, Larry, better than having to start with it. That's right. Oh, Jacob. Jacob says the jumbo pansy have become my favorite birds before. They have amazing temperament and will eat right out of your hand, and they get big. I've been working on them and trying to get them to that, and I'm there. So like when I do stuff like that, like making them bigger, I keep my original line, and then I'm selecting from my original line. So I still have both. I still have the standards, but I also have the jumbos that they'll lay the bigger eggs and they'll grow to faster and bigger. But I always keep that original line just because it's sentimental to me. So I don't keep like a huge covey of them, but I always keep at least one breeding set of that original line. And then it's kind of rewarding when you look back and you're like, man, I took from this to this. So and some things are not that many generations out from being, good. And, you always hear like, comparing one breeder to another one that, oh, I got from this one and I didn't like it, but I got from this one. That a lot of different environmental things come into play, and people look at different things. So it's not like one breeder is doing bad compared to another breeder. And most of the breeders all communicate with each other anyway. So it's not like, you know it's a tighter community than you can imagine. Vernon says, when you keep the original seed and how far you have come from where, there is always a good thing. It is. And like my original pansy line, there was nothing wrong with them. I mean, they're still beautiful birds. I just want them a little bigger. I want their eggs a little bigger. You know, there's nothing wrong with the breeder I got them from originally. It's, that's just what I saw that I wanted to do, and that's just what I done. And it's fun, and it's fun to always do stuff. So I'm working on a few other things too. Hella says I gave mine frozen fruits in the water. Heard that's a good thing too. Jacob says we get spoiled that you do all the hard work for us. I try. The the goal is to just put out the best product possible, and you know, like I want more people to raise quail, whether it be from my quail or someone else's quail. That doesn't really matter. I just want more people, and then I like my customers that message me and ask questions because they're getting educated, they're learning the right ways to do things. So when they turn around, it's inevitable that if you're raising quail, you're going to be approached by someone looking to buy quail. So if you just winging it and don't know what you're doing, then how are you going to help them? You could potentially discourage from somebody from raising quail, which quail already do that enough themselves with the way they poop and the way they injure themselves. And you know so you want to be a good tool for your potential customers or families or friends or anything of that sort. um you want to be a good resource for them. He was asking if I have jumbo cell. I do. um yeah, they're not for sale yet, but not for sale yet. I'll probably do a fall release on the different jumbo varieties of celadons. Verna says, yeah, like giving them frozen food is fun. Frozen cucumbers, frozen slices of watermelon is always great to keep your birds cool in the heat. Alan's asking on the jumbo pansy, did I cross on the jumbo pharaoh just select bigger birds? Select the bigger birds. And it's, so when you hear somebody talk about selecting a bigger bird to increase the jumbo line, um, it's a little bit more into it than that. So I'm looking at bone structure. I'm feeling around for different things on the bird, on the bone, on the body size, shape. I'm looking for, you know, heavier duty legs. So it's not like just take your biggest and breed them back, and then add your biggest. And it's a little bit more in depth than that. But the short answer is save your biggest, breed them, and continue on. But there's a few other things you need to look at as well, because like I could just go randomly and grab one breeding set of birds, and I could just increase the size on them pretty quick. A couple generations, just take the biggest and breed it back, and then you end up with a good solid 15 to 17 ounce adult bird. But then it'll be like the Cornish cross that you start with the leg injuries and the different, it'll be unhealthy if you're not allowing this bird to progress on actual physical structure size. So just selecting just for size can be dangerous, because then you're talking about birds that are overweight, so fertility is going to drop. You're going to have um, males that can't breed or injuring hens while they are breeding. So there's a little science behind it. Um, but in essence, I took my pansies and I selected for larger and larger and larger, and it's I am where I'm at now with it. Steve says, just remember when you give them watermelon, so later you will know the the juice is not, it's juice and not blood drawn. Yeah. Jacob says, I've had so much fun helping people get in the quail and start back up. Local to me, it's super rewarding to know you helped another person provide for themselves and get a little closer to their food. Yeah, that's the biggest reward. Not, you know, not a purchase amount, nothing. It's that is the reward. It's it's super special for me. Like when, especially when I'm dealing with kids that they're into it, it's it's nice. Or I get the messages of people for their first egg, and I had one customer that he never raised anything before, ordered eggs from me, and kind of texted back and forth throughout the whole process of the answering questions, and just like anyone else. And he got his first egg. I didn't get a picture of the egg. I got a picture of one single fried quail egg in a pan, and that's what he did. He collected his first egg, fried his egg, and then he realized he wanted to send me a picture. So he sent me a picture of the one fried quail egg, which is kind of hilarious. He's like, "I got my first egg," and I was expecting when the picture was coming through that like them be holding an egg. No, it was fried. He ate that first egg, so I was super excited. I was very excited for him. Now I'm pretty sure he's swimming in quail eggs, but it's always funny because like I don't ever remember having a cage of birds all the same age. I don't ever remember like all of them starting to lay at the same time. It's like you get the one egg, and then sometimes you get one egg again the next day, and then you end up with two, and then it's just like they just start telling each other it's time to lay, guys. Steve says the true reward is when the person you help someone else. Yeah, I agree. It's and then like for me, if I help someone and you know teach and educate, and then I'll see that person helping someone else, that is so much better. That is so much better because you know I started it, and it's not so much like me. It's more of you know my dedication and my passion for it sparked passion in someone else. That sparked passion in someone else. So it's it, that's the best thing. And it truly is. It's a good feeling. Larry says I'm changing over to all jumbos to help with my pickled egg business. Yeah. Egg sizes doesn't necessarily mean anything. You can have standards that are later some big eggs for you as well. And it says funniest thing when their first eggs don't have shell and land in the poop tray. Yeah, yeah. Like the whole thing just falls through. Big Joe says I had bought some that were bigger birds in hatching egg form about 10 years ago to bring in new blood to my birds and end up with bumblefoot, something I've never had before. I had to start over. Yeah, it happens. Larry says play them country music and they will lay more. Yeah, yeah. Well, guys, I'm hour and 15 minutes in. I didn't eat lunch. I didn't eat supper. I think I'm gonna eat supper and go and help Christina move chickens. I think that's the plan. Thank everyone for stopping in on a Saturday night, and anyone for I think it's Tuesday. So Tuesday we have the quail business brainstorming beginners session on Tuesday, and we have Katrina with Soul and Terror live Monday night. Yeah, Katrina and Verna next Saturday morning. So I'll see everyone Saturday evening. Thanks for stopping in, guys.